glorious day at Wellness 101 with your integrative wellness and life coach, Dr. Adrienne Pinkney. Greetings! It is Dr. Adrienne Pinkney, your integrative wellness and life coach. I am so sorry I haven't seen you all in a while. I have been transitioning into my new space and into my new life. Here's my new office. I'm so excited to share it with you all, but I want to go ahead and get right into this video today because I'm working on shortening the length of my videos. So here we go. I want to start with two quotes that I just loved about feelings. I always start with a quote. This week, the quotes are, the first is by my man, Deepak Chopra. Our minds influence the key activity of the brain, which then influences everything: perception, cognition, thoughts and feelings, personal relationships. They're all a projection of you. The next is by Common, the rapper. You have to be sincere in your feelings, and fear is one of those sometimes. Doubt is one of those. Jealousy, anger, all of our emotions are not going to be considered the strong emotions. All of them are not going to be love, happiness, and joy. So this week's video is all about feelings and why it's important to feel your feelings. So we're going to talk about how to feel your feelings. Well, first thing, when did you learn to stop? Most of us learn to ignore our feelings, or that our feelings don't matter, when we are very small children. It depends on your family of origin what that sounded like, but it might have been something like if you expressed anger or disappointment or hurt, it would be like, fix your face, or stop crying before I give you something to cry about, which usually came, after you had been given something to cry about. And you better not cry. How else does that sound? That might sound like, don't be so sensitive, or what you smiling about. In some families, you weren't even supposed to be too happy. So in our families of origin, we learn we learn the opposite of what we need to learn. So instead of being escorted into learning that our feelings matter and how to feel and process our feelings, or what to do when we have big feelings, feelings are dismissed, ignored, silenced, stuffed away, and are put behind closed doors. Children, really small children, have to be escorted into knowing what their feelings are. Some of you already know, but I worked as a dean of students previously. And when I had discipline issues in my office, it was always a result of a kid not knowing what to do with big feelings and having made a bad choice in behavior because they felt a particular way. And whenever they would come in my office, no matter what it was, I noticed that very small children are very limited in their feeling words. They are mad, they are sad, you hurt my feelings. But under that, there's usually fear, or I was scared, I was disappointed, I felt rejected, I'm despondent. Of course, they don't have those kind of words. But as a dean, I would help them get words to better describe how they could feel, and then, of course, make better describe how they do feel and make better choices on how they could act going forward. In families like mine, where no one really knows how to process emotion, emotions are stuffed away. The way that I, as a very emotionally intelligent child, I was very advanced emotionally, and I tied that to my survival. Growing up in a house with an alcoholic father, I had to tune in to how he was feeling to be able to keep myself safe. So I knew how to detect what my daddy was feeling from the way the door turned when he opened it. And I would start adjusting myself towards that. Now, that was a mechanism to survive trauma. And it was something that I had to learn as a kid to keep myself safe. And it was something that I used in my adult life to my detriment, actually. Because I used to predict everybody else's needs and adjust myself to make them feel okay and never consider my own feelings. But now that I understand the gift that I have to be able to be so emotionally intelligent and how to use that in ways that I can hear about somebody else's financial problems and just listen and not give them my money, I've grown. So when we don't know what to do with our feelings, it usually affects our behavior. When we are afraid of the feelings that come with certain instances, even if we're afraid of happiness, if we're afraid of love, afraid of joy, we act out of fear, not of the thing that is in front of us, but more so of the feelings that are associated with it that we are unwilling or don't know how to feel. That's why some people sabotage relationships that seem loving, or they abandon right when it's about to get really intimate. And it's not because they don't want love, but they just don't know what to do with the feeling. They've never really been taught how to do that. And I do want to say it was a responsibility of the adults in your life to teach you, one, that your feelings mattered, and two, what to do with your feelings. Yeah, because stuffing feelings over time, over many years, is not good for your health. Addiction, all addiction, whether it's sex addiction, addiction to alcohol, addiction to busyness, addiction to dysfunction. Some people love being around people who have problems. My fro is a little lopsided. Okay. So whatever your addiction of choice is, it's usually about being unwilling or not knowing how to deal with your feelings. So, for example, sometimes when people feel lonely and they don't know how to just sit in loneliness or the feeling of loneliness, they get up and go shop. And then over years of that, they say, oh, I have a shopping problem. But really what you have is a problem with knowing how to sit with yourself. Um, Eating. Often people who overeat really just don't know how to process emotions. So my husband is criticizing me, or my boss yells at me, or my children are running crazy, and I don't know what to do or say or how to feel about that. So I will just numb myself with food, something that makes me feel good. Now, knowing how to process your feelings is so important because everything that we do in life is about how it makes us feel. Everything that we do and everything that we don't do is about feelings. I have certain students who have said mean things for long periods of time to other kids, and then when they see how badly that makes someone else feel, they stop because they don't like feeling bad. I don't like feeling bad. It hurt me to hurt somebody else, so that's why I'm gonna stop hurting her. And helping children be able to make that connection is huge, but helping adults be able to make that connection is even more important because we are big kids who have more access to things, people, and resources that we can use to really hurt ourselves and other people. So your feelings matter. I'm going to share a quick story about myself and how my unwillingness to feel something was affecting my behavior. So I always tell y'all my relationship stories, but they're good. So, and they'll help you see yourself. So I was in this relationship with a financially irresponsible partner. Money problems. Something I said I was never going to experience again once I got out of my parents' house because I hated that feeling of the lights are turned off or we can't do it, right? So I just knew that I wasn't going to feel that anymore. Well, because that feeling made me feel insecure. It made me feel abandoned. It made me feel unprotected. It made me feel left. It made me feel I don't know, unsafe. So many things that financial problems made me feel. I just didn't like to feel that way. So I made myself a very financially responsible person, but I partnered myself with someone who was very financially irresponsible. So everything is going okay, so I guess, but I had this feeling in my spirit, God is so real, that something was wrong with the money. I had this feeling about 2 or 3 months into us living together, and I said something to him about it. I said, "Is everything okay financially?" And he essentially said it was. And sure enough, we had already made our financial arrangements, which that he paid the bills, and I bought the groceries, and I paid the cleaning lady. So I was doing my job. I was buying the groceries. I was buying good things, organic stuff, big pieces of salmon, making sure, his favorite snacks was in the house. And if he ran out of that one, there was another one right behind it. Because I just love being right and on it, right? So anyway, he comes home one day and he's like, Adrian, I can't pay the rent this month. And I was flooded with all those feelings that I felt as a little girl. I felt, oh my God, it's all going to fall apart. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God, I don't know how to feel this feeling. So instead of just feeling this, you know what I felt? I felt like I wanted to cry. Really. How could you? That's how I felt. But I didn't really know what to do with that feeling. So I said, okay, well, what are we going to do? Right? Because feeling was uncomfortable. So to avoid that, I was a doer. My drug of choice was busyness. My drug of choice was action. Fix, save, rescue. So I was like, okay, well, I have the money. So I'll cover it this month. You don't even have to pay me back because I just want to set you up to help you get yourself ahead for the next month because this can't happen again, right? Like ever. This can't happen again. So paid the rent. Didn't feel good about it. Didn't really talk about how I felt about it. Didn't really show him how much it hurt me that he failed to do what he said he was going to do. Didn't let myself cry because, I had grown up in one of those houses where, and you better not cry. So no matter what was happening to me, no matter how hurtful it was, I thought my power and my strength was in holding that and not crying. So I didn't. I wanted to, though. So anyway, did it that month, and the very next month, my dear one comes home. The very next month, let me say that one more time so y'all don't miss it. The very next month, my dear one comes home and he says, Adrian, I can't pay the rent. And all the feelings again, the anger, the hurt, the disappointment, the insecurity, all those feelings that I felt rushed over my whole body. This time I knew that I couldn't do it again. Now, I recognized him as financially irresponsible, but I was about to become that too because I was using my money to rescue him, which was financially irresponsible. So I went to see my counselor and because I started getting help at this time. I told her what was going on and she said, Adrian, tell y'all this. She said, Adrian, every 4-year-old has a toy room and at some point they usually go in there and they pull out every single toy that they have. How does that 4-year-old learn not to pull out every toy? I said, well, I don't know. How do they learn? She said they have to clean them all up. And if you help them clean up the mess that they made, they don't understand the impact of the mess that they made. So Adrian, he made a mess. Let him clean it up. But what am I going to do? I'm sitting here like I'm despondent, like I don't have money. Now I know good and well I have the money to go give myself the security that I desire. My issue, my block is I'm trying to stay attached to him. I want him to do it. No man has ever taken care of me before. I want him to do it, right? Resisting the fact that all I need to do is just get myself up and out of there and go take care of myself. Go give myself the stability that I want because I know that I'll do it. Adrian, I won't disappoint you, right? So anyway, I go back home and I tell him, I said, I can't pay the rent and I don't know what we're going to do, but I need you to figure that out and tell me what we need to do from here. Because if you can't afford to pay this rent, we can't live here, right? So I didn't save him and it all fell apart. We ended up having to break our lease and paying the money to break the lease. And y'all, I cried the whole time. I let myself feel the feelings that I was afraid to feel. And all of those feelings, my unwillingness to just sit in disappointment. I was disappointed just cry about disappointment because I was unwilling to ever cry about disappointment. I was trying not to feel it. So I kept doing things to rescue myself and other people anytime disappointment might come up. I couldn't experience it again. And not only was I afraid to experience it in that moment, because if I let myself start to experience disappointment, I have to acknowledge that I felt this way for years. If I have to step into feeling uncared for, forgotten, feeling insecure, if I am having to feel it in this moment, I may have to acknowledge that I felt like this since I was 6. Yeah, So I started to feel that, and I cried the entire time, and I packed up my stuff. And I mean, I didn't pack it like I'm packing it to move it to the new house. I packed my stuff to put it in storage. So I paid for the bubble wrap, wrapped it up real good, got the cups with the little layer boxes, because I don't know how long my stuff, because we don't have no house. And I did. I eventually went and got myself a house, and I got myself the stability that I craved. And I started to show myself that what I was looking for someone else to do for me, one, I had already done for myself plenty of times before, but it was really not my ability to do any of those things that was affecting my behavior. It was all about my feelings and all about my thoughts that were so limited. We have to be willing to feel our feelings. And I know that many of us have never really had to learn how to do that. So we are emotional 4-year-olds. So if you came into my office, I would ask you, let me see. Let me get you some feeling words. Have a jar of feelings. Because often when I work with clients, I hear words like, I'm just so mad, I'm just so hurt, just so sad. And those are like 4-year-old feeling words. Are you feeling despondent, disgusted, exasperated, respected, perturbed, mixed up, humiliated, grateful, sensitive, self-conscious, petrified, vengeful, arrogant, fatigued, perplexed, competent, sympathetic, relaxed, disappointed? Go get yourself some proper feeling words. Identify what it is that is really going on within you and be willing to feel it, even if it's just joy. Oh my God, I just went on a date with a woman that I like, and she kissed me on my cheek. Joy, feel that. I know many men have been taught that to love too much, too hard is not cool. To be crazy about it, to be whipped, what we call that. That's a shameful thing. Just love her. If you do, it's fun. And if you're hurt, just be hurt. If you're feeling disappointed, it's okay to feel that way. Sit in it, feel the feeling, and then don't let your fear of the feeling affect your behavior. Also, don't let your feelings make all your decisions, because just because you feel some certain kind of way don't mean you have to lose your damn mind. That's really important too. But anyway, I'm doing a much better job of keeping this video short. I'm under 20 minutes. I feel great. I feel ecstatic. I feel like a winner. I feel like I could fly. I'm going to go reward myself with some non-dairy ice cream. I encourage you all to have a lovely day. Love yourself fiercely, honey, because you deserve it. You're so awesome. You are love and light, just like me. Okay? Be well. Bye, folks.
Be light. Be free. Be noticed. Be peaceful. Be authentic. Be super. Be well.